And so right now this is currently live on YouTube, right? So we're live on YouTube, so if you want to share it and spread the word, that's all good. And then tonight is Millie, right? Okay, you're going over visual novels. So I'm going to let her take it away, and thanks for coming.
Oh boy, okay. So I'm with Ghostberry Studios. I forget if he said that already. We are a new gaming development studio dedicated to making visual novel style games. Our current game is Missing Eden, and I will get more into that right now, but right now I'm going to cover what visual novels are and figure out this computer. Oh, that's definitely not how you do it. Hello? Hello? How do you make it go to the next one?
I've never actually used PowerPoint on here. Here, let's try that one.
I tried enter.
It's like it's wanting it to. Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing.
So there we go.
Okay, so now the arrows work. Okay, so let's go over some examples. We have Dream Daddy. That one's a really well-known one. The Game Grumps actually help fund it. You can find it on Steam. We have Arcana, which is a mobile one. It's fairly new. I think maybe a year old now. We have Hautiful Boyfriend, which is a silly one about dating birds. It's kind of known for being so quirky. I feel like I'm talking fast. Sorry about that. We have Monster Prom. Monster Prom is a really new one where you can actually compete with your friends and play with them over who you're going to ask out to prom. And then Mystic Messenger is probably the one that, is the reason lately visual novels have been becoming more popular in America. And then we also have the No Zero games. They're kind of a psychological horror escape from a room visual novel. And so let's go over what makes a visual novel. First, most important thing is it is a story told through still images. I mean, it's kind of in the name. It's like a novel, but with visuals to it. That's a really key part of it. And the story is probably one of the most important part. Another thing is they often have multiple endings and choices you can pick throughout the game. So they're much like a choose your own adventure sort of book. And then they're not always, but very often they double as dating sims. We'll go over ones that are not dating sims, but it's a really popular trend. And some of them have kind of a negative connotation due to more adult themed ones, but there's plenty that is like family friendly, PG-13, stuff of that nature. And now let's go over why people like to play visual novels. One, they're easy to play. You just need to know how to read. That's pretty much it. Sometimes the gameplay might be a little bit more difficult than that, but for the most part, you just need to read. And for me, who's not always the best at gaming, I enjoy that I can play these and not get stuck somewhere. They're also very story-driven. People often play video games more for story than gameplay. It's not true for everyone, but people who love a good story, visual novels are usually rich with that. And then they have replay value. Since a lot of them have different routes and endings and different choices, you can replay them to get a different ending or just see what the new dialogue options. Some, after you get a certain ending, you'll actually unlock other routes and other choices that you can do within the game. And then artwork is often a really big selling point in their appeal. Not all of them need beautiful artwork for to sell, but a lot of people get inspired by the art and want to draw ones of their own, want to cosplay it. It's a really popular common trait. And then there's more gameplays than just multiple choice, though that is the most common and probably the easiest to do. Some of them will include stats. I am not a fan of this. You often might need, it shows an example of it from Dandelion Wishes up there, enough beauty or enough wisdom to pull something off. I feel like this usually takes away from it, but some games have made it work, like Monster Prom, where you're competing with your friends to ask your date out to the prom. And then puzzles are another really common thing. Puzzles could be literally anything. It can be a really simple puzzle of like find the code in a room, or it could be something as complex as Myst, which is not a visual novel, but like it could be anything. And then point and click adventures often get close to being visual novels. Some of them are visual novels, like the picture there, that is from Build Your Own Boyfriend. It is a visual novel, and you point and click, and you have to figure out puzzles, find items, and find key pathways, and things like that. And next one. Or wait, did I miss one? Oh yeah, there's other types too. Okay, and not all of them are about dating. We have the Phoenix Wright series. You're a lawyer. You have to present your case and find clues to defend your lawyer person. Nailed that. We have the Zero Escape games, which are like escape the room kind of thing and survival. Like people tend to die. We have Date or Die, which is about dating, but it's also about death. This is a new indie game. It's still early in the stages, but has a lot of promise. Higurashi is a popular Japanese horror one. I don't know if it has dating in it, but it got so popular in Japan that it had a remake, several anime seasons, live action adaptation, novel adaptation, a lot of different stuff. That's a scene from the bird dating game. It's a little darker. Long Live the Queen is technically a visual novel, and that's about having to help a queen become a queen without them getting killed off. And Danganronpa has no dating in it, but is another action, dark visual novel. And then there's several ways you can make a visual novel. Unity has programs that allow you to make it. In fact, Dream Daddy and Monster Prom were created with Unity. Tyrano Builder is my current preference, and what we use in Ghostberry Studio. We'll go over why we chose Tyrano Builder. Ren'Py is also a really popular program. One of my favorite indie makers, Nom Nom Nami, has made several games for that using Ren'Py, a visual novel. And now I'll tell you a little bit about Tyrano Builder and how we use it and stuff. One, it's $15. That's a lot better than $40, but some of them offer. So that was one of the reasons we got it. It also, you can literally just drag and drop things in place. You can position the characters like that, put where you want the buttons, put where you want the text to show up. It's very simple and straightforward, and you don't need any coding experience to do it, though it does allow coding if you want to do more than what the program already provides. You can also export to multimedia platforms just with a few clicks of the button. You can do a browser game, Windows, Mac, Apple, Android, any of that. It's fully customizable, so like if you don't like how its default menu screen, you can change that up. It's no problem, and it has a very active community. So if you have any questions about how to do any of it, you can go on and ask. There's also a lot of free online tutorials. The information's out there. They're really friendly. And what we're currently working on, there we go, is our game Missing Eden. And we chose a visual novel for a couple of reasons to make this game. One, we had to do it for a class assignment for Heartland Gaming Expo 2018? 17? No, it's this year. It's 18. Okay, 2018. We decided to go with a visual novel because we don't have too much gaming experience ourselves, and we also had like an enriched story we wanted to tell, and we thought it just kind of fit. We ended up getting first place in Heartland and had such a positive feedback that we decided to continue and make our own studio and work on this game to make it more in-depth with animated backgrounds and cutscenes and characters and just really bring it alive. I pushed the wrong button. And then the story, it's real briefly about Eden, the main character, trying to find herself in this big, wide world, or universe more likely, and going planet to planet, and they meet all these different people while trying to find their missing family and under discovering, that's not a word, the secrets from their past. It's also very character focused. We worked really hard to make each character relatable and dynamic, where they really work with one another. We have Val, she's an alien, she's a big sister type mechanic. We also have Matt, he's half human, half alien, he's very charismatic and really easygoing. And then we have Atlas, he's the sarcastic, cynical robot. He used to work for a corporation and stuff, and he's really snarky, but he likes plants, so. And also, we went with a visual novel because we met in an animation class, and we were all really artistic, and we really wanted to draw all of the scenes and make it really pretty and cinematic, and so we did that. And last we just have is a recap about everything I just covered, hopefully. The story is the most important part of a visual novel. If you don't have a good story, it probably won't get successful. There's other things that are good, like the gameplay and the artwork. That's really important, but really it's the story, and the story doesn't necessarily have to be like an epic or anything. Some of them, the story is more just the dialogue, and the script is witty. I mean, there's one about your girlfriend is a llama. Is that one any good? I don't know. I haven't played it, but that's one, and people will play silly ones. There's a Jurassic Heart where you date a T-Rex. So, you can get creative. It doesn't have to be like an eulogy of a good story, but it has to be enjoyable, the text and the story of it. Visual novels are also very user-friendly. Anyone can play it. They're really easy. So you can make it more difficult if you want, but most people are playing for the story half of it, so you don't want to make a Dark Souls visual novel. That would be a bad idea. And I pushed the wrong button. Here's the right button, maybe. And they're not always dating simulations, but the two go hand in hand, and a lot of people who play visual novels might be disappointed if they can't date a few of the characters, but that won't break your game if you don't want to explore those options. And then they are often multi-branch stories, though you can have more gameplay in it, rather than it just being a choose-your-own adventure. And that is everything. I don't really know what I do now. Do I take questions? Yeah? Okay.
Okay, RedPie is based on Python. What is this? What is Tyrano Builder based on?
I do not know.
Okay, it's just
Is that what I answer? It uses JavaScript and HTML code.
whenever you're tweaking your game, what are you using to tweak the game in Tyrano Builder?
There's like a little section I click,
Okay.
and then you can code into that.
And what language are you coding into that?
Usually JavaScript.
That's what I needed to hear.
Okay.
I sort of know JavaScript, okay.
Okay.
Because Unity just gives, I cried. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
And RedPie was like, it's a steep learning curve. You get your results for free, but it takes so long.
Yeah.
The joy of making things dies.
I can understand.
A little.
Tyrano Builder does get tedious, but I think that's just writing a story and also programming in general. If you mess up one little part and left it out, you have to go back and fix it. So, any other questions?
Do you have a release date or anything like that you guys are shooting
Oh
for?
boy, howdy! We're hoping to finish it this summer, towards the end, early fall,
Do you guys?
Hoping August 5th.
August 5th.
Yeah, for the first chapter, don't take our word for it. She's looking in. But it's a hard maybe for us.
We need to know when our artist comes back from Colorado.
True.
Do you guys have Patreon?
What? Yes, we actually have business cards with URLs. I mean, a scanning code thing, barcode. What?
Can you repeat the question for the online?
Do we have a Patreon?
Yeah.
Yes, we have a Patreon, and you can find it under Ghostberry Studio. We also have an Instagram. covering our current and only project right now, which is missing.eden on Instagram. And then I think we have a Facebook that is also just Ghostberry Studio. Any other questions?
So you guys have what looks like a super cool game.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to, I'm gonna.
We've been working really hard on this
Yeah,
story
it's
and the
exciting.
characters.
What about for Ghostberry Studio? Like overall, like what is the thing that you guys want to accomplish? Do you think? Like after you finish this game, you get it out, you get the chapters out. Are you wanting to do other kinds of visual novel games? Or?
Possibly, we might explore other things other than just visual novels. But we do already have a list of ideas to do after Missing Eden, and we might even eventually take a little break from Missing Eden and do like a small little side project that isn't such a complex story that we have already set up for like a little break and a practice of different media platforms and stuff. But yeah.
Do you mind repeating her question again?
Her question was, what do we plan to do after Missing Eden, and if we still want to continue making visual novels? And the answer was yes, but we're also exploring other options, and we do have plans already. Neato Bino.
You guys decided how you're going to distribute it yet?
Not completely. We know we want to do 4 to 5 chapters that we're going to release. And then after that, we're going to see what the feedback is and possibly do a Kickstarter.
Where are you going to release it?
Where we're going to release it? It's going to be PC, and it's going to be possibly
You're gonna put it
Steam.
on Steam?
Yeah, we're going to look at Steam. There is itch.io, which I think it's free to put up, and a lot of independent gamers put their games up out in there. So we're probably going to hit up itch.io and then go towards Steam.
ECO?
Itch.io, it's
It's
IT.
also pronounced itch.io.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled. Itch.io.
Yeah.
You can say it either way. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't care. That like started with. It's full speed.
Oh, but that question was, where are we going to release it? Why? What's up?
You ready to review? So who's on the team?
Who's on my team?
Yeah.
We have Lizette, who's kind of the, like, secretary, organizer, second in command, maybe first in command. We kind of share things. I don't want to, like, but she also does a lot of our background art. We have Angela, who's in charge of our animation. She animates the characters, helps the background be a little bit more active, and does our animatics. And then we have Mars, who is not here today. Their brother's having a birthday, but they are our lead artists. And then I'm in charge currently of programming and the story. Yeah, and that was the question of who is all in Ghostberry. There's Lauren, who's helping out with concepts, but she's missing in action right now. I know where she is. She's vacationing, but she's gonna be come back this week, and I'll touch back with her and see what she's done while she's gone. Neat.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I can continue standing here and looking pretty, but
All right, let me jump in. And say that.
oh, my life is asleep.
Right on. All right, everyone. So thanks for coming. We meet every third Thursday here of each month at 36 Degrees North. Millie is actually the first person to ever bring food. Like usually, like people just come and like there's already food ready. So she brought a bunch of cookies. So jump on over there, have some of that. So thank you very much. You rule. And so.